is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
Excuse me as I rock on. That's Went Away by Dorothy Lane. Dorothy Lane out of Martinez, California. That's out of the Cut and Dry album. Check them out at dorothylanemusic.com. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the podcast. It's me. You know who I is. How are you? If you are a returned listener, it's good to have you back. If you are a new listener, it's good to have you here. How are you holding up? Hope you're doing well. Oh, there's a Porsche. So I'm out and about again. Had to pick up some things at the groceries. And most of it had to do with the bake shop. One thing was personal. Not personal for me, but it was for the home. And another thing was personal for me. For Father's Day, I got a Keurig. I know. Like, what? Why would you do that? Because sometimes I'm a coffee snob and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I drink a beer and sometimes I drink the wine. Sometimes I eat the sirloin and sometimes I eat the Spam. Yeah, you get it. So, yeah, I picked up one of those Keurig pods. You know, not the ones that have coffee, but it's basically the Keurig pod container, the cage, if you will, the filter. You can fill it with your own coffee. And so I have one of those containers at home already, but I just wanted to have another one. And this one's slightly different, so I don't know if it's going to be any different as far as how it, produces the coffee. Probably not. Yeah. I'm kind of just coasting through. It's currently a Sunday. I'm coasting through the afternoon. I spent most of the day in PJs, in pajamas. It was sort of like get up and just start doing stuff. So I wanted to talk about this whole work from home, stay at home situation, and I got to thinking about it, and I might have talked about it early on, but there's a whole lot of negativity about this whole time, and I'm not going to get into that, and about how people have a lot of strong feelings about what's going on. All I know is that for me, and the reason why this comes up is because I talked about how I got up in the morning and just kind of stayed in my PJs for most of the day. But it has to do with, the fact that I got up when I was ready to get up. Yes, it's the weekend, but most of the week it's that way. For me, it's interesting how nowadays I can pretty much do that. Get up when I'm ready to get up and go about my day, because the kids have had to. We are in summer, but the kids are like, they are in the same boat. right? We're all not bound to the old normal way of life of, getting up, I don't know, like 6 a.m. and prepping breakfasts and packing lunches and getting kids up and getting them ready, and getting everybody to school and stuff, So all of that activity from normal world, requires that I get up, earlier than my body wants to. And, it's not just because the kids are in school, but it had just become that way since the first kid. My sleep has never been the same since the first kid. Where I'm sleeping, whether I'm like on the floor, or on the edge of somebody's bed, or I don't even have a bed, or what time of the day I'm or what time of the night I have to sleep, or what time of the night I have to be up and take care of newborns and things of that nature. So it's crazy. I remember feeling for a long time, feeling like I'm never, ever, ever going to have my sleep the way it used to be. Well, that's not true. When the kids are grown and out of the home, probably that's what's going to happen, right? But I remember feeling like, it would just be so nice to really just, be up when I'm ready to be up. I just feel like I've just been so exhausted, in the mornings. And look at it now. Now it's like, and regardless of how late I may be up, or how much, boozing I've had to enjoy the night before, I'm able to get up without feeling hungover of any sort, and that depends on really what I'm drinking the night before. And so I, in a way, like, it's been a silver lining in all of this mess, right? This whole craziness. I feel like I'm getting the amount of rest that I need, and it's been a long time coming. It's been long overdue. Yeah. So yeah. And now I'm heading back home. I had just finished cooking a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, what's cooking? What is cooking? What's cooking, y'all? I got up and I had to do some kind of finishing touches on some cookie decorating that I had done the night before. Then I had to roll into getting late breakfasts prepared, and it was very simple. It was like a whole bunch of crispy bacon and I think that was pretty much it. Then I rolled into okay, now I need to actually prep some meals that I need to prep, not necessarily for lunch, but they just need to be done. So it's a big, I used 2 Instant Pots to actually get these things done, these 2 dishes. One was a pork sinigang, which is a Filipino dish, and I used cubed pork belly, and it's in a broth, and it's got a bunch of veggies in it, so that's all done. And the other was a dish my wife asked for, and it was a chicken sotanghon, which is another Filipino dish. It's basically a type of kind of noodle dish, or soupy noodle soup dish. It's got chicken, and it's got this sort of it's got these really thin noodles in it. I think they might be bean noodles or of some sort. I don't think they're rice. And it's got garlic and onions, a little bit of a choti coloring and fish sauce and salt and pepper, and yeah, that was the other thing in the Instant Pot. And yeah, I prepped lunches for the kids, basically leftovers from yesterday's barbecue. We had grilled short ribs, beef short ribs, grilled salmon. Yeah, all good stuff. So now I'm home. I gotta bring stuff in. I gotta kick my son off of his online play date, doing video games with his buddy, and then load the van with a bunch of bikes and other things. We're gonna head over to the park, and we're gonna enjoy the afternoon at the park. You know, social distancing is very possible at the park, and the kids are able to get fresh air and get some exercise. And yeah. Do you need a website? If you're an individual, a consultant, a group, or small business and need a site, or maybe you have an existing site, I can help. How about graphic design? Do you need a design for a t-shirt, logo, product, business cards? You know, maybe you need help with designing and developing a brand. I'm not an expert, but I do have the tools and the techniques to get the job done. How about a podcast? Yep, like this thing. This thing's a silly little show. Are you looking to set up a podcast of your own? Are you looking to reach an audience? Promote your business via podcast? Well, Abadam Studios. That's right, Abadam Studios. Yeah, so that's Abadam Studios. AbadamStudios.com, AbadamStudios.com. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm back. And so it's the next day. Yeah, from that last segment. And just I'm happy to report that we did go to the park. The family did, and it was the idea was get home and get at least an hour run around the neighborhood done, and then that idea turned into, how about, you know, everyone just heads over to the park like we have been doing, where we have all the bikes with us, at least for the kids, and we have some hammocks set up and some, you know, a picnic blanket, and it's just a way for the kids for everybody actually to be outside, after having been indoors for most of the day because of work and stuff. So you know, we happen to be at a park where there is some wide open space because of soccer fields and baseball fields and whatnot, and there's a track around the perimeter of these fields, and it's not too bad of a place to go spend my time, you know, jogging, getting a run in. And yeah, so that's what we did. Family went over, helped everybody get set up, and went on my way. I wasn't able to get an hour in as I would have liked, but I got a good 40 minutes of Zone 2 stuff, and I really need it. I'm really out of shape, but you know, started as I ran my loops. I was wondering if this is actually where I could see myself doing a long run. You know, I had talked about what should I do for my next long run, do it from home. So, you know, after the day, I talked about it with my wife. Like, what do you think? What if I did my long runs there? She's like, yeah, sounds like a good idea. That way, you know, the family could be there, spend the day as well, whatever. But really, if I'm, you know, I don't know what I want to do. Do I want to do time-based, like, you know, give myself, 8 hours, I don't know, 10 hours or 12 hours, just to see how many loops I could do, something like that. Could be fun. And it's not too bad, like yesterday there was there were groups of folks running through soccer drills and stuff, either individually or as a family, or there was like sort of these little team things going on. So, which is interesting because you've basically got soccer practice going on and nobody's wearing masks, right, if that's a concern. Meanwhile, there are people who are going on walks and stuff, walking their dogs and whatever. They're wearing masks, so it's a mixed bag of who's wearing what. And so that was that. And again, it was zone 2, so it's pretty easy. But this morning I'm feeling a little bit of it because it had been such a long time since my body's dealt with, the pounding that happens, jogging and running and stuff. But, hoping to make some positive changes, consistent, long-lasting positive changes. It's funny. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to end this period of unfit and just not caring about what I'm putting in my mouth. Things were going so awesome prior to the pandemic. My wife and I found ourselves in a gym. We went at least twice a week. Did that for a while. Managed to get myself into decent shape enough to run a pretty, what I felt personally strong event. What was it? The Lake Chabot back in February, I think. Man, and then pandemic hit and was left to do the workouts via Zoom sessions, rather. I mean, yeah, either live or just to sort of replay, a recording. And then that stuff got kind of like not as fulfilling, not as effective, not as motivating. So after a while of doing the Zoom things, like twice a week, then it fell off to once a week, then it fell off to like, oh, we missed a workout, but save the recording. And then we save a bunch of recordings, then we start saving recordings, and then it was like, hey Jim, can you just put a freeze on our account because it's just not working out right now. We are looking forward to heading back into the facility when it's safe, and they have made that possible now. They'll do semi-private sessions in the facility, right? Or they'll do workouts live, but it'll be outdoors somewhere. And I really like the indoor workouts with them because of their treadmill interval. I like that piece. I'm not a fan of like, let's just do body weight stuff and all the time. And yeah, so that's where that's at. And the other big piece too is now that my wife and I have been working from home for quite some time, still interested in having to do the workouts together. But that'll mean we need to figure out where the kids are going to be. And the gym has not made their little kid lounge open yet, at this this period. So I'm thinking I got to reach out, because if I say, what, let's do I'll hop on these semi-private sessions, but since it's semi-private, is it possible to just allow the kids to just hang out in the kids' lounge while we do this session? Because they're not going to be anywhere. And then if not, then it's a bummer. Then my wife and I aren't going to be able to work out together. And we may have to just sort of not work out together, which, brings down some of the motivation. Yeah, whatever. So here I am, looking at this track and thinking maybe this is where it can all happen. At least for, me trying to make those changes to, and I tie in, making sure what I put in my mouth is good, and trying to be consistent about that, and as well as getting us some exercise. It's pretty early right now. I had to get up really early for a call for work. It's like one of 2 days where I get myself earlier than my body wants to get up. So I get up, and I have prepared the night before, the whole beans, the pure coffee club athletic blend. I have them in the grinder. I do it like basically a serving at a time. I don't pre-ground the stuff ahead of time. I just leave the beans in the grinder. So I get up in the morning and just hit a button, and then things just start spinning for a few seconds, and I load up the grounds in my little Keurig pod thing, and get my freshly ground and dripped Keurig style coffee in a matter of a minute, in short order. So that gives me enough time to put the grounds in, put the pod in, hit a few buttons, make sure there's a mug under the thing, walk away, go to the bathroom, take a leak, head back, and my coffee's done. And it's perfect because the athletic blend, right, has the not an athletic blend. What's it called? The athletic roast, the athletic, and maybe it's a blend. But it's got more coffee than a typical cup of coffee, typical roast. So it helps give me that gets me that jump start to actually put my words together. Yeah. Awesome. So what else is going on? Did I happen to mention that I got some new sort of work to do? I got a new project, helping a friend out, getting her website in place, and it's exciting because she's a writer, author, and she's going to be doing a talk at some point, and she just wants a website that not only is elegant and attractive and functional. It'll be her first website, but it's something that would allow her to sell her book. So I get to work with her, and she's someone that I went to. We were classmates when we were doing our undergrad program, and yeah. Anyways, so it's exciting because I get to work with her and sort of introduce her into the world of what it's like to actually own your own website, and what are the things that you're going to want to think about when you get everything together. So right now, I've walked her through the domain name registration, so she officially has her own name as a domain, which is awesome. And she, I love it. She trusts me a whole lot to just be there and walk her through that. And I make those suggestions and recommendations, for security. Make sure your passwords are like this and this. And as you walk through the payment, just if you need to shut off your camera, or have me step away, she's like, nah, I trust you. So it's nice working with folks who trust right? And otherwise, you're not really working with anybody if they don't trust you and you don't trust that they trust you and all of that good stuff. So yeah. Right now, she's in the process of putting together, the content, all of the write-ups for the pages and things. It's exciting. She sent over the cover art for her book, the description of her book. So that'll help because I'm gonna have to at some point I'm gonna have to build a product page and go through that. So to sort of walk her through all of these pieces, I think is cool. It's something new. It's something because she's gonna have to think about it. Sort of have the mindset of I actually have an online store and I actually have a website and I can start communicating in such a manner where not only can I redirect or direct folks to find more about me and what I do at my website, but she's going to be able to use the website as a platform to create more writing, to post, to blog, so yeah, it's stuff that I haven't, it's stuff that I'm so used to, but to work with somebody new, it's refreshing and it sort of is reinvigorating and taps into the other thought process outside of my regular job and taking care of the family. So I think that's what's cool. Awesome. I'm sitting now. I had knocked off of a meeting almost a half hour ago, but I made my way to the post office because I have a bunch of boxes that I gotta drop into the post office as soon as they open. So I'm a few minutes away from them opening. So I'm sitting here chatting with you, still sort of processing. I've already downed it, but I can feel the coffee kind of the effects of the coffee, doing its thing. I wonder if I'm going to be able to get the family to the park today. I think what we want to do is head over there early, work from the park, earlier in the afternoon, because usually when we head over there and it's sort of like right before dinner time, it gets kind of, the wind kicks up and it gets cold. So, as I was doing my run yesterday, my wife had to set up one of the kid tents just to have a little bit of a shelter away from the wind. But I set that expectation. It's going to be at least 30 minutes, at most 45 minutes, and nothing's going to stop me, right? So they're already feeling like, oh God, I'm just going to sit here. And, the kids get to ride their bike and they get to play with the hammocks, but my wife, she's like sitting, taking care of some business stuff, using her phone, but she has to sit through the windiness of it all. Let's see, yeah. What's going on? What is going on? Oh, so as an update on the whole Etsy store thing, got word back from the Etsy store owner. For those, if I haven't talked about it in this episode, maybe it's an earlier episode where basically, an Etsy, my wife and I, we ordered a bunch of masks, have a logo printed on the masks, and there's this whole miscommunication about the end result of which mask and was going to actually turn out. So there was a desire on our end for them to do a reprint because the logo, setting the mask type aside, the logo just did not match up with what they were representing, and I felt it was against sort of the policies of having an Etsy store. You got to represent yourself as accurate as possible. And I think a better job could have been done to set expectations as far as what can actually be done, Anyways, so got word back, and they're like, well, I didn't see the email. My wife read it to me, but it sounded like they can't do a full out reprint, but what they would be, and that they can't color match the mock-up, and either they're willing to give back 20%, or they're thinking that we'd make another order, but with 20%, which we don't want. We'd rather, 20% isn't enough, right? But I can see where if they give back 20%, maybe they're just kind of relinquishing any profits they would have had off of us, and then, they would have just met the cost of actually producing what we're not happy with, and we're going to be stuck with the stuff we're not happy with. We'll figure out how to use it, but definitely we're not going to put in more money with a guy with a store that's going to produce something that doesn't even match up. I mean, it's already wrong, and you're addressing the color. You're trying to, you recognize that you can't address the color situation, and even if we ended up being happy with the color, the print is full of like these weird streaks, like an inkjet printer, kind of low on ink. It's like that's lame, Nobody wants their logo looking like garbage. Why go through the whole process of making a logo that you can take pride in, only for it to be sort of printed out awful? Makes no sense. No sense at all. Anywho. Oh, so as an update, another update. Looks like the kids here in our district, for the coming school year, it's all going to be remote, right? And that's exactly what we wanted. They were trying to bounce off ideas what to do. Do we do full remote? Do we do a hybrid of remote and in person, or do we do just complete in person? And it's just not certain right now. And as long as my wife and I have the capabilities of working from home, there's no point in us, letting them go into school at this uncertain time, and just be safe, just be careful, and just roll into a full remote situation. Now, we'll see how it goes. Yes, it's going to be hectic, because then my wife and I will be back sort of guiding 3 kids through online learning again, like we did at the tail end of last school year. Schedules are always busy. And it's not just me, it's the rest of the country, it's the rest of the world, and closer to me, it's my colleagues, my coworkers, who all are going to go through the same thing in one shape or form. Anyways, I'll be back. I got to put these things in the mail. All right, I'm back. That was a quick drop off. I had I think I had 6 boxes. Yeah, my wife put together all these boxes for, she received a bunch of orders, and other things, and we get to every now and then make a trip to the post office to drop off packages to get things out. So this is not the usual. I don't ordinarily do a morning chat on the podcast, but I'm trying to figure out the rest of the day, and figure out the rest of the day on the day at the tail end of a podcast. Oh man, I could use more coffee. Excuse me. I'm gonna use more coffee. But I don't think I'm gonna hit up the athletic blend again. I do have the honey process, but I don't know. Depends on how much kick that I need. I don't want to get I like a nice trickle of the caffeine. I don't like a quick, hard dose. Yeah. If you guys haven't done it yet, God, excuse me. Oh yeah. If you guys haven't done it yet, check out purecoffeeclub.com. And you know, I'm a fan, I'm a customer, and years ago, you know, a bunch of the NSNG admins got gifted coffee. You know, they weren't, you know, packaged like they are when you buy them off of the shop, but you know, they were these like gallon Ziploc containers full of beans, roasted beans. So I had the initial 3. Lonnie did 2. Honey Process, Athletic, and House. And God, all of them great. And but after that, you know, I never actually picked up a cup of coffee. I just settled on whatever my wife brought home from the grocery store. But but recently, I don't know, it's been, I want to say a little over a month. I'm like, you know what? I think I had ordered from Pure Coffee Club a previous other time, but this time I'm on a subscription, which is great. I'll do the 12 ounce bag, you know, twice a month. So every 2 weeks, you know, I'll get whatever I set in my subscription. So I started off with the house. With the honey process. I'll let that flow through and get a bag of the honey process. Then I'll go into the site and I'll log in and I'll edit the subscription to say, now let's go switch it over to the athletic blend, right? So the athletic blend rolls through, you know, the subscription kicks in on the next period, and I get the athletic. And my thought was I'd go back in and edit and get the house or something else, you know, the Explorer or something. But I was late to the game. I was late, and the subscription kicked off, and I got another athletic blend or athletic roast. I can't know what the heck to call it. The athletic, the athlete. So then I added the subscription afterwards for the house. So next in the queue, next time the subscription kicks in, it'll be the house. So I've got just for me, you know, a little bit of a surplus on the coffee. And at this rate, you know, I gotta rethink, like, okay, am I getting too much coffee too quick that I'm able to consume? I might need to scale it back. Instead of a 12 ounce twice a month, maybe I just need a once a month deal. And that's what I love about the whole subscription piece of the Pure Coffee Club website. You know, it's a feature that I've yet to implement on any of the sites that I build or manage. But I like the idea, and I like the way they do it too. It's you know, the products themselves, you know, there's variability in each of the products, so you can actually go and you can pick a type of coffee, you know, what type of roast, what type of blend. You make that selection, and then the variable pieces. Now, do you want pre-ground or do you want whole bean? So you do that, and then the next piece of variability is, you know, how many of these do you want? It's quantity, right? I mean, it's quantity and frequency. Do you want like one bag? Actually, the bag size, right? Did I already say that? The bag size? No, I haven't yet. You do like an 8 ounce bag or a 12 ounce bag, and then, you know, how many do you want sent to you? Do you want one bag? You want you want 2? Do you want, something else? And then you pick a frequency. It's like, do you want it once a month, twice a month, whatever, every 3 months, whatever, right? So there's a whole lot of variability, and they do it in a way that's visual, right? So you're looking at the coffee, you're looking at the coffee beans, you're looking at the coffee bags, you're looking at, a cluster of coffee bags. So it's a very nice way of having a customer select their product. So I'm pretty sure that's something that I can implement if I were to, do the subscriptions and whatnot. Played with the idea of setting up a subscription, some sort of subscription on my wife's bake shop. Try to figure out what that might look like. I've seen other bake shops do subscriptions sort of things, and but that's just maybe something to think about later. It could be a predetermined sort of set of treats that people can subscribe to and get it, I don't know, maybe whatever frequency, once a month, maybe sort of like a box of the month, Yeah, helped my wife set up something on her store for an electronic gift card product, right? So it's a way that customers who enjoy what the bake shop is all about, they could share the love, they could gift, because there's so much variety as to what folks can order. They could share the love by gifting an electronic gift card to somebody, and that somebody would receive that gift card, as you imagined, the electronic gift card via email, and they could redeem that gift card on the site, get a dollar amount attached. The gift card attached to their account, which the gift card would have a value, and they could, shop and use the value in that gift card towards a purchase. Pretty neat, huh? Good way to support. Gift cards are a great way to support your favorite business. All right, I'm back home. Gotta make another cup of coffee, get some bacon and eggs going, get as much breakfast as done early for the kids so that I don't have to do a whole thing where I give them a late breakfast and an early lunch. I overfeed the kids. All right. That's all I got. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Hug your friends, hug your family safely in one shape or form. Eat something delicious and go run. Something. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies. Also, be sure to check out the site over at ruelsrunning.com. This has been another Coffee with Heavy Cream production. Join us next time for another silly show of Ruel's Running Podcast.